so we got Lily. Lily, I've wanted to talk to Lily. She follows me, but she follows a lot of people. Blew up over a viral TikTok video saying broke ass niggas. Blew up overnight. Now she's shilling Jesus shirts. She's like, her brand is like Nazi racist and Christian Jesus now. Okay, so Lily's shilling her 38,000 likes for the Jesus shirt. She says, America is and should remain a white Christian country. Okay, America was never founded on Christianity. That's a lie, we all know. And our America is a Zionist country. It's not some Nazi, racist, anti-Semitic Christianity. Christian Zionism is deeply ingrained and in control amongst Christianity in America. So while you can pretend like you're pro-white and anti-Semitic, when you're saying Christianity is the solution and we need more Christianity, you're really just enabling Zionism. America is not based Orthodox. It's not anti-Semitic. This is just empowering more Zionism. Where's the store? Above his head there, it says King of the Jews, by the way. He's the King of the Jews and a Jewish Messiah. And he's fake. These pretty girl influencers that pop on the scene and shill Jesus to all the incels out there, I don't like it. Should remain a right country. What it'll do is, oh wait, see through it all posted. Spiritual Judaism for the win. Yeah, INRI means King of the Jews. Who says that? Most beautiful. See, this is the E-Crusader LARPers. 9.5 million views, 38,000. You realize that every church in America would disavow you and say you're not a real Christian? In fact, they will do it. We have many examples of them doing it. Is this the first one? Yeah, like Xavier, this black Zionist. Jesus was a lot of things, and white was not one of them. I know, you're going to say you're a white country when you have your Jewish Jesus on your shirt? And that got 100. So you think, oh, good ratio, huh? Oh, you got lots of attention, 38,000 likes. Well, the black Zionist just ratioed the hell out of you and got 196,000 likes. You're completely terminally online, LARPing, lying, coping, delusional E-Crusader version of Christianity is not real in the real world. And you get ratioed to all hell by quote unquote real Christians. You're not going to overcome the Christian Zionists that have the reins of power. They're just going to use you as an example to simp for the Jews and pass more laws stopping us from resisting them. This is Christian-controlled opposition. Another example. Eastern Milk, some tiny Christian account, Orthodox, 2.3 thousand likes on this post. Hold on, this one's got 5,000 likes. This BS has to stop. You can't even win over Christians, let alone non-believers. This BS has to stop. This cross is not your symbol for white nationalism. The merch store linked on her post is paired with a bunch of violent Catholic imagery. There is only one race we should worry about, the Christian race. The Christian race. Be loving, be meek, do better. 5,000 likes. Christ is for all races, all ethnicities. And this is real Christianity. This is what your average Christian thinks. This is what all the churches teach. This is what is the actual takeaway from the Bible. Christ is for all races, all ethnicities. I do not care what color you are or where you are from. What I care about is culture. Christ is king. America is not based Orthodox. Not even one, is it not even 1 in 10 is even Orthodox? And Orthodox isn't even based. America is not based Orthodox. It's not Christian anti-Semitic. It's not racial Christianity. It's evangelical Zionist. And it's going to stay that way. You say, oh, it should remain a white Christian country. We're a Zionist country. You're saying you want it to remain a Zionist country when you say this stuff. You're emboldening and empowering Zionism in America by doubling down on Jesus. And she'll get up here with the pretty face and the t-shirt and shilling Jesus nonstop. But then if you actually ask her about the Bible, she barely even knows about it. Another one, 3.6 thousand likes. As a conservative, I'm beyond over some of these people on the right using Jesus and Christianity as a political weapon for things like this. Christians, these people are not on your side.
Aren't Trump and some of these Christians, like this chick, a bridge to European tribalism?
No, it's Christian tribalism. She'll say she's pro-European, but then she'll shill Jewish Jesus. She'll shill a religion that doesn't have anything about Europeans or European nationalism. No. I think it's a distraction and a limited hangout and falling in the trap door and keeping people on the Jewish plantation. Now, remember Shiloh Hendrix, the woman that was filmed saying the N-word to the Somali after a young black kid was trying to steal out of her bag? She called him the N-word. They raised her almost $1 million on GoFundMe, mostly in response to the Austin Metcalf situation and the money he raised. Well, the Christians are out for blood because she's a pagan and she's got Freya goddess necklace on. And it's funny because these Christians tried to appropriate her at first. I saw them. They were like trying to say, all the Christian accounts were like making memes where she was a crusader. And the video, you could see she had a pagan tattoo on her arm, the heathen hammer. And the Christians now, the Jewish Christians, I believe Morgan Ariel is Jewish. I called her a spiritual Jew. Look at this ratio, by the way. You would prefer she was a spiritual Jew like you. She says Shiloh Hendrix is a witch. I'm not surprised. One look at her and I could see she's demon possessed, says the Christian. Says the Messianic Jewish Christian Morgan Ariel, a witch. The days of these Christians, these spiritual Jews, calling our women witches is over. These Christians would try to burn our women at the stake for not believing in Jewish Jesus, for not believing in Jewish fairy tales. Calling them witches and killing them because they're practicing their ancestral religions or they're doing shit with herbs or whatever. These type of Christians, this woman, Morgan Ariel, that's why you got ratioed to hell. A witch, a witch. Oh, the pagan witch. You're a Jew. You're a spiritual Jew calling us witches. It says in the Bible, what does it say in the Bible to do to witches? Doesn't it say to, hold on. The day of these people calling European women witches for not surviving. That's what I thought too. Exodus 22:18. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. So she's calling for the death of this girl because she has a pagan goddess. She has a Norse goddess necklace. She hasn't fallen for the Jewish prophecies and doesn't believe in magical Jews. And this Christian girl, who's supposedly based and anti-Semitic and all this stuff, Morgan Ariel, is calling for her death, calling her a witch, because the Bible says, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. And that they should be cut off. It said a wizard should be put to death, shall stone them with stones, their blood shall be upon them. Lots of verses about killing witches, actually. Guess what? Witches aren't real, by the way. Just calling pagan women witches because they don't believe that they don't get on their knees for the king of the Jews. Need more ammo like you're a wizard? Yeah, I guess I'm a sorcerer too. This really bothers me that these Christians, these Jew worshipers, are going to be calling European women witches and counter signaling her. One of us. There was a great meme, by the way. People realized that she had a pagan tattoo and that she wasn't a Christian. There was a great meme where it was the Austin Metcalf dad that's like, this isn't racial. I apologize. I forgive you. Compared to her, who didn't back down. Morgan Ariel, who's just some e-girl shilling Jesus to a bunch of incels. Single mom, by the way. Great Christian single mom. And I've talked about this a lot. Christians are like, burn that evil pagan heathen witch. These Christians that call us antichrist, right? They call us antichrist. In the old days, they call you antichrist and they'd burn you and they'd kill you. Or they'd go to war with you because you don't believe in the magical Jews. You don't believe the Jews were ever chosen. You don't want to worship the Jewish God of Zion. Yeah, I called her a spiritual Jew, but people corrected me. She actually is ethnically Jewish as well. Calling actual white girls witches. Christians see this and go like, look at that witch. Look at that pagan witch. Let's burn her. Let's burn her for Jesus like the Bible says to. Yeah, look at what they did to Hypatia. We're not putting up with zero tolerance for the spiritual Jews calling our women witches. We're not going to have any of that. This is her video, by the way. Whole lot of talk about her Freya necklace.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shiloh Hendrix. I wanted to take a little time to talk to you all about what's been going on with my fundraiser and kind of the aftermath of the park situation.
She sounds like such a Minnesotan. She can totally tell she's got that Minnesota accent.
Also, some concerns that have been brought to my attention. There are a lot of people who think
As what sent $5 on Rumble. Total area and victory.
And that it's not going to me.
Totally. What, my weight ratio on Morgan?
It's all gone to me. Nobody has asked me. For
yeah. Morgan was at TP USA before her JQ arc. And all she ever does is spout a bunch of the Christian controlled op kosher disinfo shit. Yeah. We're not gonna put up with these spiritual Jews and ethnic Jews calling our Viking queens witches, calling my daughter and my wife a witch because she doesn't believe in your stupid Jewish fairy tales. This goes for Morgan. This goes for any of these Christians online, any of these e-crusaders. Anti-paganism is anti-white. Christianity is anti-white. And everybody's waking up to it.
For any money. So there's that. Rest assured, all the money has gone to me. When this first started, I had a handful of people helping me out. Anglo-Saxon Girl, Tom Hennessy, Paul Miller, and Ofsterbone, Avi. And they really just and uploaded a video and started his own fundraiser. That had nothing to do with myself and the rest of the people that were involved. As soon as we found out the truth.
Yo, we got like 700 people watching between Odyssey and Rumble right now. Let's go. I wonder what it is. Is it the thumbnail? It's all the pretty girls on the thumbnail, huh? Is that what it did it? I got you guys. It worked.
About all of that, I severed ties with him immediately. No, him, I've never met any of these people. So I just want to shut that down right now. Yeah. When I first found out that the park video was going viral.
She does have big eyes and fair skin.
It was terrifying, but not surprising, because obviously he was recording me. He was going to get out there at some point.
Not a Targaryen, though. Not a true Targaryen.
I did not realize.
She doesn't have I don't think she has the blood of the dragon.
And have all of you people rally around.
Hazel eyes, not brown. Okay, green, dark green, hazel.
It was very overwhelming, and I am so grateful for you all for that.
Dude, she struck the lottery.
This first happened, and I went on X, and I saw Anglo-Saxon Girl had posted my video. I messaged her, and I was like, hey.
Shiloh is your ideal breeding stock.
Kind of needing somebody like
hazel eyes are Scandinavian. Okay. I know brown hair can be Scandinavian too.
Process of, proving who I was. And that's when we kind of got the whole fundraiser started and set up. And yeah, the rest of that is history. I also just want to say how proud I am of everybody. And
like look at
showing what can happen if we try.
Her eyes though, she's got nice eyes.
Stick together, and if we keep fighting back.
Lily's eyes.
Our future, our existence depends on standing up for ourselves and not backing down. And we just.
She does seem sweet.
Going. There's no other option. I mean, what else are we going to do? You can't be afraid of words. Don't be afraid of the people who are so fragile to a word. I am just so thankful for you all. We are in the process of looking for a home. We have looked at some, getting out of the state and starting a new life. And I want to have.
Yeah, I don't know if she'll pass the VARG test, huh?
being an influencer. I don't plan on doing interviews. Like, that's just not something that I would ever want to do.
Oh, she's not going to become an e-girl, an e-star, huh? You're not going to turn this into a podcast and be a need celeb now?
It's not on my agenda. So maybe someday, but I don't foresee it happening anytime soon. We're all doing okay.
I wonder what she's into. I want to know everything about her now. Like, who does she watch? Who does she follow? Why does she have pagan tattoos? What does she think about Jesus?
We've been moving around a lot.
I don't even know if she's on Twitter. I don't think she is. She's got 2 young kids. She's being a mom. She's not on social media like she should be. Like a true pagan witch. Calling her a witch, man. Fuck Morgan.
I'm so grateful for all of my supporters and all of my people who have been with me through all of this. And yeah,
She won't be another Hawktua girl? No meme coin?
I haven't done any sort of videos or spoke to anybody really. So I feel like it was about time to clear the air and just kind of,
Yeah, we need a green pill endorsement. Okay, that seems sweet.
You call him a nigger?
Here's her video in case you guys didn't see.
The child?
the fuck you talking
Did you
about?
call the child the nigger word?
None of your fucking business.
It is my own business. You call him a nigger? Okay, why don't you have the balls to say it right now again?
Fuck you, nigger.
Okay.
Nigger.
All right, that's what you say.
You don't go digging through people's shit, you dumb fuck.
Nobody dig into your shit.
A little fuck.
Dude, what kind of Somali guy goes up to a woman at the park and starts filming her and challenging her to say words?
Here, just dig, you dumbass.
That little kid, you call him a nigger? That little child?
What if he acts like one? He's gonna.
Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child, 5-year-old, a nigger, the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act.
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know that's a hate speech, and you can.
That's a hate speech. Arrest her.
Fuck off.
Okay, we'll see about.
Oh, I'm sure no black woman's ever called a little kid a cracker at the park before. I'm sure that's never happened. I'm sure this guy would go get in a black woman's face and say, "Hey, did you just call that little boy a cracker for not letting your son steal his toy?" So that's how she raised almost $1 million for that video, and now they're calling her a witch. And they said the same thing. This is my favorite pagan girl. Oh, this isn't actually her account though. This is her account. Alvi. The pagan origins of the name England. I said this the other day. I shared her video. In the past, Christians would call Viking queens like this witches and burn them at the stake for not bowing to the Jewish God. And this Morgan Jewish Christian girl just proved my point.
Sounds must be spelled with multiple.
We should be using runes instead of the alphabet. Here's why. The alphabet we use today was never meant for English or any Germanic language.
It was designed for Latin, a language that does not contain sounds such as th or ng, meaning these sounds must be spelled with multiple letters.
Runes, on the other hand, were made for us, perfectly designed for the language of our ancestors.
They gave us thorn for th, and also a single rune, ingwash, for the ng sound, making writing smoother and cleaner.
Yeah, this girl over Lily and Morgan and all these Christian girls.
Compared to the Roman alphabet, runes
This
are
is what we need. Not a bunch of spiritual Jews crying about witches.
more and intuitive, created for our own words.
Every sentence you can write in a Germanic language, you can easily write in runes. Runes were even used in England until the 11th century.
But runes weren't just practical.
Pagan Bear, you're in love? She's married. She's got some European husband.
Name and meaning.
I think it's her husband.
And even more amazing, each rune's shape reflected its name.
Thorn, for example, resembles the thorn of a plant, symbolizing strength and protection. Feo, meaning wealth, was shaped
Christians
like
see this and they're like, a pagan, ooh, witch, ooh, burn her, get them. Every knee will bow.
horns, reflecting the value of livestock in ancient times. And Bjerkan, meaning literally birch, but representing female fertility, is shaped like a pregnant woman.
This connection between shape and meaning gave runes a visual logic.
Yeah, we need more witches. If this is a witch, we need a whole lot more witches.
Memorable than the abstract symbols of the Roman alphabet. It's time to reclaim.
Yo, Spencer shouted me out on the Martina stream earlier this week saying you're one of the most righteous people in this space. Thank you, Richard. Very nice of you to say that. I just saw a clip of them and shared it this morning, too. I caught some of it, but I missed that part. Thanks for letting me know, Frog Eyes. That's good to hear.
Claim the runes are
Pro-witch. Yeah, I'm pro-witch now. I'm anti-spiritual Jews, anti-Morgan, face caked on with makeup, grifting Rabbi Yeshua merch.
heritage. And
You're the
connection to
witch,
voices
Morgan.
of the past. Can you guess the sentence I've written with the runes in the caption?
I watch so many of her videos. So the music, she goes all around Scandinavia and European places and talks about European history. I love it. And it makes Christians see. Look, 1.2 thousand likes, by the way, for that one. I guess we're all pro-witch here. Here's another one. The pagan origins of the name of England. Alvi Gunilla. like a Freya Viking princess goddess. Let's see here.
Comes from a Norse god. Let me explain. Were you aware that the name England comes from a Norse god? Let me explain. Our story begins with the Angles, a Germanic tribe from the Angeln Peninsula. Their name gave rise to Englaland, the land of the Angles, which evolved into England. In the 5th century, the Angles, alongside the Saxons and the Jutes, migrated into Britain. Here's the interesting part. The Angles were part of the Yngveones, a group of tribes who revered the deity Yngvi Freyr, or simply Frey, a Norse god associated with male fertility and prosperity. Frey is also the patron god of Sweden, so the name England is a legacy of the Angles and their divine patron, Frey. Were you aware that the name England comes from a Norse god?
Oh, see, here's her husband. Dude, tell me that's not the most wholesome thing you've ever seen. Dude, what? Dude, I'm so jealous of this guy's fur. I made AI images of me in fur like this. Christians see this and they're like, satanic. Ooh, this is evil. You're going to burn in hell. You need the king of the Jews, Rabbi Yeshua, in your life.
Vikings were rapping over 1,000 years ago. In the Viking, I bet you didn't know Vikings were rapping over 1,000 years ago. In the Viking Age, they had fleeting, a poetic duel of insults. Two opponents would go back and forth trading rhyme slander in front of a crowd.
What are you doing? You need to be reading the Bible. Why aren't you talking about David collecting foreskins? Why aren't you talking about the mythical history of the Jews?
And yes, it could get vicious. Fleeting was witty and structured, often with much alliteration, and meant to test your intelligence and nerve. One of the most famous fleetings is in the Old Norse poem Lokasenna, where Loki crashes a feast of the gods and insults everyone. Odin, Freya...
Yeah, do I need a fur fund now? Oh man, I'm hot today. I need to take the jacket off, actually. Hot today. I don't think I can handle a fur. I'll have to, we'll need a move to Norway fund if I'm going to be wearing any furs like that.
And even Thor. He insults their courage, their morality, and even their bedroom habits. And he does it all in verse. The word rap comes from the ancient Greek word rhapsody, talk, singing, poetry. And fleeting was exactly that, a mix of rhythm, rhyme, and verbal skill. While modern rap is harmful, rap is originally poetry, and poetry is deeply rooted in European culture. Turns out the Norse didn't just fight with their axes, sometimes the sharpest tools were their words. I bet you didn't know Vikings were rapping.
Band name? What's the band name? Okay. I just can't stop. Dear White Americans. What? Let's watch Dear White Americans too. Hold on, I want to see this. I heard her, she posted that she like lost a sponsor or something.
It's a really beautiful day here in Sweden, so
Sweden.
I was thinking of sitting outside and filming something new for you. This video is aimed at my American followers. Thank you very much for watching, but I think anyone else watching my videos will enjoy this.
Let's hear this. We're American.
Jump right in.
Rootlessness.
Many of the problems we see in the USA today stem from a rootless society, a culture that no longer grows from the soil of a shared history, but is instead patched together from many different and often conflicting pieces. Music, food, and entertainment are now made with the intention of appealing to everyone, which ironically means they appeal to no one. Or her
videos make me wish that I was like a Viking over 1,000 years ago up in Norway. It feels like instinctual. The landscapes, the scenery, the topics,
correct myself,
the aesthetics.
Speak to no one. In trying to
speaks
please
to me.
Everyone, they lose depth, meaning, and soul. This is not only a criticism of mass diversity, but also a lament for the loss of continuity. A people that have forgotten where they come from cannot know who they are, and those without roots will grasp desperately for anything that makes them feel connected to something.
We're nothing without Rabbi Jesus. That's what the Christians would say. We're all sinners and we're going to go to hell if we don't believe in Jesus. That's what Morgan Ariel will say. We all just need to worship the mythical Jew god harder. Or this. Which way, Western man?
Take a look at the culture that dominates much of modern American life. The top songs on the charts are rarely written by the performers. Often they are designed by committees, engineered for catchiness, but stripped of substance. The food is fast, over-processed, mass-produced, and far removed from the traditional recipes that once fed both the body and soul. Even the storytelling in films, books, and shows are largely commodified. There are exceptions, of course, but these are growing rare. We are witnessing a degeneration of culture and of identity. And identity is not something you can fabricate from scratch. It is inherited and then developed. It is built by those who came before you. Instead of living traditions, people are fed substitutes. Communities now gather around sports teams, celebrity worship, video games, and political ideologies. While this instinct to find community is deeply human and healthy in many ways, these forms of connection are shallow. They are temporary and often divisive. They do not offer the same kind of spiritual grounding or self-understanding that true cultural roots can provide. We see the effects of this rootlessness everywhere. One of the most striking manifestations is the rise in Christianity among younger people. One of my most recent videos goes into much more detail about this subject.
Why so many young people are turning to paganism?
The
That was
community
her video? I didn't
around
see that.
organized religions is one that rootless people crave. This, mixed with the fact that Christianity was so widespread during the making of America, is why Christianity has such a strong hold on modern US populations. To know who you are, you must know where you come from.
And we don't come from Christianity.
This disconnection
cooking.
is particularly tragic when you consider the deep and rich traditions that many Americans hold within their blood. The United States is full of people descended from Irish, German, Scottish, Swedish, French, I could go on forever, countless other European peoples. Yet many have lost even the memory of these lineages.
Christianity killed our identity. Yes, it did. Homogenized us, universalized us, got us hating our ancestors and our ancestral traditions and cultures and religions, and instead believing that the Jews are really chosen and they're the only ones that really know God.
And yet, not all is lost. There are surviving fragments of these traditions among European-descended communities in the United States. Scandinavian American communities still celebrate Midsummer in Minnesota.
How much better would Lily be if this was Lily doing this instead of shilling Rabbi Jesus? Lily, you want to be truly pro-white and European? Be traditional? You want to wear the traditional dress?
And the Pacific Northwest. German
Come home,
Americans
Lily.
have Oktoberfest. Irish Americans celebrate St. Patrick's Day and Samhain traditions, especially in Appalachia. French Cajun culture in Louisiana is still very much alive. Appalachian folk music is clearly stemming from British, Irish, and Scottish ballads. But for these traditions to survive, they must be remembered, practiced, and passed on. Now, more than ever, it's vital for Americans to find out who they really are. Not in terms of vague values or political ideals, but in the sense of something deeper, an ancestral sense. When you discover where you come from, you begin to see yourself differently.
We come from Adam and Eve. What do you mean, witch? We came from Adam and Eve. The Hebrew Torah told me so. We come from Japheth and Noah's Ark. No. See? You see the difference? Or the Christian identities? We're the real Israelites. All of that is just such garbage. This is where it's at. Hail Alvi. That's her name, right? Alvi?
You're no longer so easily manipulated by trends and mass media. You stand in a world with roots deep in the earth. You may not live in your ancestral homeland, but your ancestral blood still flows within you. If you have the means, visit the places that your forefathers came from, but avoid the big cities. They have mostly been changed beyond recognition. Instead, go to the countryside, stay in the small villages.
I would love
in the
to.
quiet ruins, and walk the footpaths that your ancestors once walked.
Oh my gosh. No, I gotta go to Israel and walk the steps of Jesus. Yeah, Europe is our holy land. Hey, Christians, why are you pretending like the Middle East is your holy land? Or ever was a holy land? Or caring about fictional stories that happened thousands of miles away from where our people come from?
Food and listen to the bird song your ancestors used to hear every morning. One affordable way to do this is through WOOF, Worldwide Opportunities on Organic Farms.
Oh, I've heard of
It's a
that.
global online network that connects you with organic farms in need of volunteers.
No, we need to go volunteer in Israel and pick their grapes because they're God's chosen people. The contrast.
You offer your help on the land, and in return you get food, accommodation, and most importantly, an immersion into real local life.
This witch needs to be burned. The witchery here is just making the Christians seethe too hard.
Sponsored. I once did this myself, and I cannot recommend it enough. I even plan to do it again this summer, maybe in Ireland or something. It brings you into direct contact with the soul of a country, and you only have to pay for the plane tickets. If you can't travel, begin where you are. Listen to the folk music of your ancestors.
Israel grapes
read their
come
stories
first.
and learn their language. Try the recipes that your great-great-grandparents would have loved. This is the beginning of a sacred reconnection. Teach your children what you learn.
She's giving me the bug. I'm gonna tell my wife, okay, I know we don't really have the money, but book it. You only live once. I need to make a Aliyah. Everybody needs to make an Aliyah trip, a birthright trip to your ancestral European nations.
What you never had. And don't do it alone. Build communities. Find other people of similar ancestry, whether German, Swedish, Russian, Irish, or otherwise.
Even a
No, we're all the church race. Christianity is our race now.
seasonal gathering, a small meal, a folk dance could be the beginning of something great. When you look in the mirror, you're not looking at an American. You're
No more News Euro retreat.
looking
That's
at an
funny.
European. In your roots, you will find meaning. You will find a sense of identity, purpose, and community. Live as if your ancestors are watching. Carry yourself with
You know what? That actually is something I could do. My wife used to organize yoga retreats, and she'd plan out the whole week and rent out a big place, and everybody would stay there and have the whole schedule doing a bunch of cool stuff. When you go with a group, you get discounts. You get like bulk discounts on everything. That could be a good idea. No more News Euro trip. Birthright trip to Europe. I'll run it by the wife.
Surrounded by chaos. Act with courage, discipline, and integrity. This is the honor of a rooted man or woman.
We need more
To
of
reject
this. You're
the
right. Most brilliant pro-white message.
Less consumer culture offered today is to love the past enough to carry it forward. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this spoke to some of you Americans.
Like, would you rather have your children watching her or Lily Gaddis and Morgan Ariel? Or what's Rachel Wilson? Rachel Wilson, Lily, Morgan Ariel, or Princess Alvi? Which way, Western man?